Let's start RWMR and take a look at the waste records we've created so far. Even if we still have multiple different waste packages in reality, we may choose to bundle those and treat them as one waste item. This process is called batching. A batch is treated as a normal waste record and therefore needs a unique waste ID. We also need to provide a batch date, a responsible worker, the target facility, as well as a type of waste we are batching. This will fill the list of similar waste records suitable for batching. Going back to our list, we see one new waste record called non-routine batch 1 that was generated by processing. By default, we only see the current active or open waste records. Using the filter, we can also view closed or historical records, which are kept for traceability. So let's take a closer look at the batch we've created. At the very bottom on the processing info, we see links to the closed, historical or original waste records that went into this batch. Clicking one of those links takes us directly to the closed waste record with a bold warning that it should not be modified, because it usually does not physically exist anymore. Here the processing info gives us a link to the output record that was created during processing. So let's go back to the batch and check the other original waste item. Having its status marked as processed batching by John Dorian on 1st of January 2013. A warning discourages us to modify the status, as the waste item is already closed. We next want to treat our historical waste to keep our poor John Dorian busy on this New Year's Day. We decide to compact the waste and provide a treatment ID, an image of the compacted waste, as well as some secondary waste that has been created during the treatment. Note that when treating or pre-treating waste, the original record will not be closed, but its status gets modified. Secondary waste is created as new waste records. The overview shows us that the current status of the historical waste is processed, treatment, and viewing the record and its status gives us all the information we've just provided during the treatment process. The processing info under Waste Details links the site waste that was generated during the treatment, just as we've seen before. Let's take a look at the site waste we've created. The processing info shows us where it's coming from and also provides quick links to further processing like pretreatment. Mandatory fields for this type of processing are the responsible person and of course the type of pretreatment besides an identifier for the process. Again, we can add an image of the pretreated waste and secondary waste that has been generated during the process. Going back to our overview, we now see more site waste records as well as the process status of the waste item we just pre-treated. Drilling into the details, we see all the information we've just provided during the pre-treatment process. Our list now shows a lot of records, so let's apply a filter to get a better view. I suggest we create a new batch and tidy up a bit before we start immobilizing all of the site waste items. We need to provide a new waste ID, some processing details, the target facility, and the waste type we're batching. And we'll include all of our site waste items. So going back to the overview, we only have to deal with one batch rather than 4 single waste records. When immobilizing the waste, we need to provide a date, a responsible person, and some optional data. And probably an image of the immobilized waste. We also may enter one or more sample data records for quality control. Back in the overview, we see the batch marked as processed immobilization and generated by processing. Viewing the record and its status shows us all the info we've just provided, as well as a new tab called Quality Control that is only available for immobilized waste. Looking at our list, we now have 2 records of processed and 2 of unprocessed waste. It's time to pack the unprocessed items up, so let's check out the packaging feature. Providing a date, the target facility, the responsible person, and the waste type, we get a list of suitable waste records to select. The quick help reads, available waste records are selected by the selected waste type above. Note that only unprocessed waste is allowed and that liquid waste is only allowed in immobilized state. On the next tab, we can enter waste IDs for all the items that are created during the packaging. This could be one or many packages of the same type. Back at our list, we see those new packages and that all of our waste records are processed now. Filtering by unprocessed yields no open records. Only if we include closed records in the view, we get a list of historical unprocessed waste. Clearing the filter and drilling into the package we've just created, we can see the original waste records that went into this package and the waste status page. Overpacking works in contrast to packaging only with processed waste records. So let's try and create one huge overpack for all our waste that has been processed. This time we let John Dorian transfer the resulting waste to facility B. Let's enter some additional data. And generate only one waste output record called Overpack A. So this is the only record left open in the database. We see that it's now located in another facility. Was stored by John Dorian. And is linked to all 4 processed weight items under original waste records. Going back to the list, we can view the list of all historical closed records that led towards the one overpack that we are now going to transfer back to Facility A before releasing it from regulatory control. To transfer our huge overpack back to Facility A, we need to go to the waste status and add a new status transferred by John Dorian to Facility A. The status list now shows us that the item was stored and now is transferred. The overview still has only one open waste record called Overpack A, but this time it's located in Facility A and is linked to the original waste record that was transferred from Facility B and now is closed and should not be modified. So let's go back to the open waste record and release it from regulatory control by adding a waste status, and also send John Dorian home to celebrate the rest of New Year's Day. The overview now does not show any open waste records. Only historical records like the Overpack A that has been released after being transferred.